incredible that we've been doing this for 25 years in partnership with the team. I think it's really cool to have that kind of history with any organization, but particularly between Fisher and the Buffalo Bills.
You can't say Buffalo Bills training camp without saying St. John Fisher, and that's huge.
St. John Fisher University, home of the Fisher Cardinals. And, for a few weeks each summer, the Buffalo Bills. As our campus community celebrates this milestone, we've opened up our archives to look back at more than 2 decades of excitement. The story of Buffalo Bills training camp at St. John Fisher University actually begins at another college, SUNY Fredonia.
I have really fond memories from being involved with the training camp from the ground up. I was here, when Dr. Keogh took us to Fredonia, very in the early stages of visiting training camp, but it was held at SUNY Fredonia, and making the decision to bring the Bills training camp here.
I can remember going down to Fredonia in the summer of '99 and going with Dr. Keogh and a bunch of other people on a bus just to kind of check out Fredonia and check out the training camp. She had an idea that this was something, that was going to happen. And to her credit, she was able to recruit the Buffalo Bills to move their summer training camp to Pittsford, New York, to Fisher.
On campus, notable changes were already becoming a reality.
If you think back to fall of 1999, Rowney Stadium had just opened, right? So that was the brand new first time we really ever had a true stadium that could be used for multi-sport activities. And then I believe in that following spring of 2000, we started doing some renovations in the athletic center. I think we put on a 20,000 square foot addition that had a varsity weight room, it had training room, it had locker rooms, equipment rooms. And I think right around that time, the Buffalo Bills announced they were moving their training camp from Fredonia to St. John Fisher.
Fisher had won the Bills. Next, it was time to build the camp itself.
I got involved in camp in the first place at the request of Dr. Keogh, actually. That was back in the day when the White House was still part of the campus. And that was our main headquarters. And we had a great core team, and we met constantly with the core team of the Buffalo Bills, and we really just figured it out day by day, sort of that, flying the airplane as you're building it concept the first year. But it was fun. We had a great time doing it.
So I was working in athletics at the time, and I was a director of personnel. We hired that first year probably about 120 people, students, alumni, people from the community who did everything from, taking care of the grounds, taking care of the stadiums, keeping the campus clean, making the players' beds. They served concessions, they worked in the dining halls.
For 9 years, I worked training camp, hiring the housekeeping staff, the ground staff, the security staff, teachers, college students. That's one of the coolest parts of having that job, is meeting all the really exceptional people that worked training camp.
The Fisher core team, that's probably my favorite memories. We had, Jem Granger and Lauren Kiefer, Mike McCarthy, John Broomfield, Patty Gowdy, Steve Saluzzo joined a year later, Steve Potter. We had a whole lot of folks who made it all happen, and it was really fun.
If you think back to that first year, it was a bit of an unknown. So there was excitement, a little trepidation. I remember, honestly, at the end of training camp, I don't think I saw a minute of practice that first year until the last 5 minutes of camp. That was the only time I saw actually football being played or practiced, right? I was kind of behind the scenes.
Having the public here and not really knowing what to expect. What do you mean they're just going to practice? People are going to come and watch a football team practice, and they did. They came in numbers.
Back in those days, they had 2 practices a day, every day. And so people were coming onto campus. There was no security checkpoints. There were no tickets. There was a lot more access to the players in that way. I think we learned after year 1 to have more security checkpoints. So that fans couldn't just go running after the players as they came down to the locker rooms.
I remember at the first year, it was kind of like a sigh of relief, right? So we had made it through it, we made some improvements the following year, and I think that first year it was an exciting time. We got through that first year, and I think we've continued to make improvements, as the Bills have as well, right, to enhance that fan experience.
From the early days to today, that fan experience is made possible through the work of many unsung heroes from across our campus and community.
I don't think people really appreciate the number of personnel, the number of people that it takes on our end, on the university end, to make this work, from facilities to finance, communications, our faculty. There's a lot of people that are involved in this, a lot of people that make this go. A lot of people come and they see the practices taking place. They have no idea what goes on behind the scenes from a setup standpoint, from a facility standpoint, from a food service standpoint. There's lots of activity that goes on well outside the couple hours of practice that takes place on the field. Lots and lots of moving parts every day. I think that the behind the scenes piece is really what was in my time here was the critical component. We had a great group of people who cared deeply about the jobs that they had to do to provide the best quality for the Buffalo Bills while they were here.
And among those who dedicate their time to making camp a success are our own Fisher Cardinals, who intern every summer.
It's one of the reasons why I get a lot of joy from doing this job is I get to hire 8 of our students. For them to be behind the scenes, to see what it takes to put together a major event like an NFL training camp. It's really invaluable for them, from the planning process to setting up to understanding hospitality, understanding marketing, understanding event operations, everything we talk about in our classes, our students are seeing firsthand. And so for them to be here on the ground level, to be setting up camp before anyone's here, hopefully that's really rewarding for them to see that they're creating this really cool fan experience.
You could be a sport management major, a marketing major, lots of different academic programs, and you've actually participated in a hands-on way with an NFL team at the training camp on your own campus, and you've learned the skills that now you're using professionally. So our more recent alumni, I think, have really had experiences that they can take great pride in, and not only with their friends, but also professionally. What did we take from this? That's an experience that very few people have had.
There are thousands and thousands of students in sport management programs across the country that would love an opportunity to work with an NFL team, and the fact that this is built into our institution and who we are, there is nothing that beats that practical experience. Being boots on the ground, exposing them to the team, being able to introduce them to people that work for the team. Again, I think it opens up a lot of avenues for our students.
It's hard work, but through it all, there are many amazing memories.
I had a lot of good memories. I really enjoyed my time working at Fisher, and I really enjoyed training camp. There was a lot of new. The fact that we hosted the Cleveland Browns here, and we had the first NFL scrimmage in Rochester at that time.
We had kickoff galas for 45 minutes. We got the entire Buffalo Bills team. And it was fun because this hallway that we're actually standing on, I was over by that door and they all came out of the locker room, and I, former teacher voice, I got their attention and I explained to them who was in the room. These are donors. These are, Rochester folks who are here to see them. Everybody loves the Bills, that kind of thing. And just sign autographs and have fun and shake hands and eat. And they ate. They definitely ate.
Last year, I will say something that I will remember for a long time, obviously, was Hard Knocks being here, right? Massive undertaking for the university, massive undertaking for everybody that works here. But I think kind of seeing what HBO Films did and how beautiful campus looked and the kudos that we got afterwards, that's something that I'm very proud of.
I think another great memory is one that's really more a collective experience. It's really the excitement of the fans as they come to our campus each day of the successive year's camp. The enthusiasm for the Bills, the quality of the organization that the Bills is and the experience that they allow us to host for them, and the fan base and its excitement each year with, what the potential of the season might be. There's really an energy that's so positive and uplifting when you visit the camp.
As training camp has evolved over more than 2 decades, so has Fisher.
We've heard multiple times over the years, countless times, we didn't realize how beautiful Fisher was. We came here to visit training camp and then became familiar with Fisher in all of the excellence that exists here. It was always excellent, but it's different now. The largest classes in our history have been enrolled in the last 5 years of first-year students. The most diverse geographic classes in our history have been in the last 2 years. And so that really speaks to the growth and the innovation and the change that Fisher's experienced, all for the good.
A few years ago, I spoke at an alumni enrollment event, and students said their first trip to Fisher was the Bills camp. And that was the first time they saw the campus, and now they're enrolling. And now some of those same people are employed at the NFL, at Major League Baseball, at the UFL. Some of them took sports management, some of them are in business operations, but they came to the campus because they saw how beautiful it was, and it became a lifetime conversation with them and their parents, and coming back every year.
In this milestone year, we cannot forget one person in particular who helped impact Buffalo Bills training camp and Fisher as a whole, Dr. Catherine Keough.
Catherine was a visionary, so engaging with her, you really had to put your mind at a different level because she came from a different background than all of us. She was an international figure. She understood much more about the whole picture.
I really did get to work with Dr. Keough pretty significantly, and to even be able to say that makes me proud, right? Because at the time, St. John Fisher College was nothing like, in many ways, what St. John Fisher University is today. And it was the bold leadership of doing something as significant as bringing an NFL team to our campus that really elevated Fisher beyond what people knew us for at the time. So it was as bold as many of the other things that Dr. Keough did and that are long-lasting legacy. And when you point back, a lot of the success that we had were because of decisions that were made back then, and bold decisions that were made back then.
25 years of training camp, 25 years of impact.
As an employee, as an alum, I have an immense amount of pride of the work that was done to get them here and then the results of them being here.
There aren't a lot of other NFL teams that go away for camp, let alone go away for 25 years. I think it's a big testament to our leadership team, the town of Pittsburgh. It's a very collective effort.
25 years is quite an accomplishment for both franchise and school to be part of. And I think it just speaks volumes of the atmosphere that Fisher provides and the dedication that Bills give back.
There was a grass practice field back there where the Policini track and field complex is now. And now when you look at the facilities that are down there, that took a bold vision to make that happen. And it took a lot of people across the community to have that shared vision to get it to where it is today. And we all experience that now, and many of the younger folks only know Fisher for the way that it is today. But some of us that were around for all those years have had the real privilege of watching the evolution of the institution. It's been like one of the great joys of my professional life as an alum to be able to watch that experience. So it's been really great.
When the Bills came to Rochester, they were looking to expand their season ticket base. A lot of people from Rochester are Bills fans, and it helped them to grow their market. And the campus association with us helped us to grow our market in turn. So I think there's been the mutual benefit to the organizations. We've helped the Bills to achieve what they have gone on to in a small way, but I think in an important way. And they have certainly helped us in a consequential way that's made us a better institution than we were before they came. And so that partnership continues to have impact on us in important ways as we mature further as an institution and in the continuing relationship that we have with them.